Hello and welcome to That Peak Crash podcast. Notorious SID and Chris Stark are with me. Regards to your family.
And yours.
Yeah, and yours.
You're getting that everywhere.
I am, just discussing this off stage.
Wow. Backstage.
Let's be honest, I was a little bit late to the podcast and I'm a little bit frantic. I've got no socks on or anything.
Well, we'll address that in a minute. But just in the regards to your family's thing, it's a real turning point in this podcast because for years I've been shouted at pancake, BBQC, variations of that. They shout in the street, you must get, what do you get, bonfire?
I had it the other week, I literally had it the other week walking down the street and it was bonfire! I looked round, it was like, regards to the family. I swear.
But it's just way better.
Oh, it's so funny.
Because the thing is, that people walking that hear it must go, oh, they must know him. But
no,
they don't.
No, not at all. No. Just but it's regards to your family, it's become a thing.
Brilliant.
But everywhere I go now, like I was doing the game. Obviously, I was at Forest, Nottingham Forest, Brighton. Incredible result for Nottingham Forest. But I was there everywhere I went, like regards to your families, and then like people who don't understand, are like, "What do you know that guy?" And like, no, never met him.
But
why do you say regards to your family? So
because I do think it's quite personal, and I do think the weird difference I find between the podcast and say doing the radio show is I feel that whenever you meet anyone who listens to this podcast, there is a kind of intimacy about this pod. There is a weird bond that you have if you. It really is quite hard to explain, but I do feel that the way this podcast is that if I did meet anyone who listens to this podcast, it's the right thing to, give regards to your family. Yeah. So I do feel we're on that level.
Yeah, no, it is.
Does that make sense?
It really is. Yeah, it's a special bond. But it's really a nice thing, isn't it? Really, you know what I mean? Regards to your family.
To get it on a poster at the football one day when you're doing your thing. You're there just in front of the stands and someone holds it up. Crouchy, regards to your family. I always do the shout outs. If someone messages into the radio with regards to your family, I always do their shout out.
But I always get, like, when I'm doing therapy couch with Av, right at the end, she never gets it at all. She just thinks people are being nice. But they'll just say regards to your families and I'll know that they listen to both.
I love it. I love it so much. So now the socks.
The sock situation is, I went to the gym this morning. I was in a bit of a rush and obviously when you go in your gym gear and you pack the gear that you're going to wear for the day. Always, Sid's went commando last time.
Yeah, apologies.
No pants.
Yeah.
And today, obviously, I remembered the pants, but not the socks.
So hang on. So did you wear socks when you were in the gym?
Yeah, I had white like kind of gym socks.
You can't wear white socks with that. That's out of bounds.
So you'd rather wear no socks?
Well, I think if I had white socks now, and anyone who's watching on YouTube is like, what the hell's going on? I think no socks is better than white socks.
My lad.
Not sure?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is something I find almost like Sid's commando situation. Are you commando today?
No.
The sort of barefoot, I don't know how I feel about that.
Not sure.
Is it anyone else or is it just...
Yeah, it's not ideal, but my lad got out of the car, so I do a school drop every morning, the two boys. One of them got out of the car and obviously it's always a bit of a rush in the morning. He got in the car, you drive. When he got out of the car, as he was walking off, I just see the white socks and I bibbed. And I was like, and he said, give me that one. Like, sorry, Dad. That's just, can't wear white socks.
That's unacceptable.
Yeah, I've got white socks on.
Yeah, but no, with black trousers.
Yeah, like you have got
like, would you wear a tux and white socks? Or a suit and white socks?
And I don't know where we're at with socks anymore. I mean, there was guys on my team telling me off for wearing shorts and ankle socks.
Yeah.
That was frowned upon now.
That makes Ab physically ill. Yeah, genuinely. If I had those half socks on, I think she'd divorce me.
Oh, really?
Oh,
okay.
Imagine getting divorced. That was the reason.
There's two options. If I go bald or half socks.
Yeah.
Two of them.
Are you not worried about blisters?
Well, I'd just rather have normal socks on. Don't know. Well, anyway, regards to your family. Got some messages here before we get into the podcast. Right, hi Crouchy City and BBQC. Regards to your families. A little question about your old football roots. I play football to a decent standard, but one of the things that irritate my partner the most is after a midweek game. I find it impossible to wind down and go to sleep regularly, staying awake until 2, 3 a.m. as a greenkeeper, this is a nightmare as I'm getting up at 5:30 for work. And Tuesday night games are a regular thing. Is there anything you guys did, if you had the same problem during your careers, to solve this? As my partner can't stop whinging on the following day when I'm half dead. Also, can you give my junior team, Newcastle City Junior Milan, a shout out, as we are heading to Rome at Easter to represent the Northeast in their Easter International Cup.
Brilliant.
What a team. From Jack.
Regards.
Brilliant.
Jack.
What a great team name that is. It's
Great name, hey? Newcastle City Junior Milan.
It's like they're just combining every big football team word, aren't they?
Yeah, fair play.
Well, I can really correlate to what he's saying
massively,
there.
Yeah.
That was hard, wasn't it? Joe, that's one of the mad things that I miss from football is the aches and pains of a midweek game. You know, we used to get home and just shuffle up the stairs and sit on the edge of your bed or the chair or the sofa, whatever it is in your room, and take your socks off and just
see all the scars, the battle scars.
Yeah.
Also, when the adrenaline's pumping, you don't know how many cuts and bruises you've got on you at all, do you?
Yeah.
Until you get home.
Yeah.
And then you'll get home and you'll kind of get ready for bed and you go, oof, and there'll be gashes all down your leg and things that
it's hard to unwind though, isn't it? Because normally after a night game, it's the same thing. You travel back, especially if it's an away game. You're not getting home until 1, 2, 3 in the morning. It's hard to go to sleep.
Yeah, but I think even as a fan, it's weird. It does throw your sort of week rhythm off. And it's not like going to see the football normally as well. Do you know what I mean? You don't have any of your pre-routine. You don't have even your fan warm-ups. You know, you don't go to the same pub. You don't do your same match day routine. Generally speaking, it's all a bit different.
I think it's very similar for a fan to... that buzz of imagine going to a Champions League, watching your team in a Champions League on a Tuesday night against Barcelona. Yeah. Even as a fan, I think, so let alone as a player, I think.
Yeah, I get a small buzz when I come back home and I get into the bed and it's about 11 o'clock by the time, you get out the stadium and get to the car and get home. And I always have a small buzz when I go into the bedroom and I see she's fallen asleep with the TV on. Yeah. Because it means then I can crawl into the bed and just flick it onto something I want to watch and I'm in. But if she's asleep and the TV's off and I've got my brain's buzzing...
Yeah, it's almost like you've got to kind of,
I've got to try and sneak it on, but 9 times out of 10, it's, straight red. She'll turn over and go turn the TV off and trying to sleep.
Wow. I know what you mean with that. Good. I know what you mean with that. If they've fallen asleep and, it's definitely just change the channel, watch something else. But, yeah, I found it really, really difficult. Obviously, there's a certain, players will have sleeping tablets, won't they? Just to get over that thing. But I wouldn't recommend that. I genuinely used to have a couple of beers and I knew even if I was training the next day, a couple of beers would help me. I would be better if I had a few beers than if I'd had no beers and went to try to go to sleep because I just couldn't.
Well, because you associate that with relaxing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it's obviously not... the medical way to combat this. But in my own head, I felt like more relaxed if I just had an hour to myself, then try and go to sleep rather than
aren't you also physically high on sweets and stuff like that? I thought you have all these things during the game.
Yeah. I think adrenaline and it's the come down, isn't it? You're right. I think my go-to would get into bed and I'd go for the nudge. I'd see what...
Every game.
That post-game routine?
No. Obviously, it's a night game. It would be the nudge, just to see the response. Just test the water.
Just test the water.
Just if it's going to be
if you've won or if you've lost.
Hold on. Give us the two noises again. I need the two noises again. So no. What would no be?
Oh dear me! We both have a can of worms here.
Yeah. Go no. No noise.
No, it's like a.
And what would yes be?
Come on,
my God. Who was that? Jack, was it again? Yeah?
We've all done it.
There we go.
There.
Jack. There you go, mate. There's your... give that a go.
Just wait for it. Just test the water.
What are we calling that? Is that the Sidwell nudge? Just on the no one, did it ever go to appeal or anything? Or was it just a straight?
Oh, no, I think I might have gone back in just to have a double blank, but yeah.
Oh, well.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, should we move on, shall we?
Hi, Crouchy, Sidders and Starkey. I hate to be that guy, but seeing as you're already moaning about it, I thought one more comment wouldn't hurt. While discussing how to pronounce players' names and people getting upset about these things, both Crouchy and Sidders use the word pronunciation on multiple occasions. I would like to pick them up on this and suggest that they use the word pronunciation in the future. Sorry to be a Carl. Gars, your family's Jimmy.
Yeah. You know what? So this came across my timeline on social media quite a bit, actually, because we were discussing, obviously, pronunciation.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, I've been saying pronunciation my entire life.
I think I've just learned something.
Did you know it was pronun?
I thought it was you pronounce your words.
It's pronounce, right?
Pronunciation.
So I genuinely didn't know that. And I honestly, I got a B in English, and I consider that high level.
Wow.
So the right way is, what do? You pronounce your words.
But you pronunciate.
Okay, I'm just trying to think back of when I've ever used the word pronunciation.
When we were discussing last week, do you know when people pull you up when you're doing like commentary and things like that? Not necessarily us, but like I know that people get a lot of grief if you pronounce their name wrong.
Okay, so pronunciation.
Pronunciation. Do you remember we went for a period of dressing up as nuns?
You've not had to do that yet.
No, I have seen that.
We did. There's one video I saw that sort of popped up again on TikTok or something, and we're dressed as nuns, and I'm pretending to be your agent.
That was it. Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Great.
Unbelievable scene.
I don't know why we were dressed as nuns, but also
I loved them, didn't he?
Mate, I think the occasional sort of fancy dress doesn't do any harm, you know? Especially as we missed out on the darts this year, didn't we? It might just be nice to just spice it up one week.
Why don't we just do 1 week where we don't tell each other and we just
turn up?
Yeah.
But we've got to turn up in it. We can't.
No theme at all.
We can have a theme if you want. We don't tell each other what we're going to come in as, and we just. But you got to wear it on your route. So if I'm getting on the train.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
I'm up for that.
Great.
Oh, thanks, Ponder.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Jimmy, for that anyway. Cheers. Pronunciation. There we go.
Right, so the transfer window's shut now, and I just wanted to kind of do this mid-season point. I know we're a little bit past the mid-season point now, but things are taking shape. Transfer window's shut. It feels like the squads are obviously already established. Yeah. Winners and losers, really.
Mm. Well, just on this then. So obviously the transfer window shut last week, and then we've had FA Cup the weekend just gone as well. How quickly do you find that the players that have moved into a club or moved out of a club as well, how quickly does it take them to sort of bed in? Can it be this quick for them to have an effect?
Some hit the ground running. Everyone's different. It really, really is. There's a lot of makeup and baggage around moving clubs. They've got families, whether they haven't got a family, whether they're travelling on their own, whether they speak the language abroad, whether they're still living at home, if it's just, whether they're going from Manchester to Birmingham or north to south, south to north. There's a lot of factors in it. And I think everyone's different. Literally everyone's different, depending on what environment, what culture you're going into, whether the team's flying, if the team's struggling, where you are at the time, whether you're trying to recapture form or whether you're flying and you've been bought on high. I've just nailed it there, haven't I?
Absolutely nailed it, mate.
Absolutely nailed it.
Yeah. But it's all different, isn't it? I mean, there's been so many signings that, like, was it Ruud van Nistelrooy that was just like bang, scoring goals straight away? Then you had some of them that just
that's what I was thinking. Like, if you go and score, sometimes it's better to have a pre-season, but if you bang a few in straight away in pre-season, no one cares really. But if you come into a massive game and hit the ground running, like, you can get the confidence to just go bang. But then I look at, obviously, it's Kusanov. Is am I saying that right? I don't want to pronounce that correctly. correctly, but hope my pronunciation was correct there. But you know, like he had a difficult start, and then you're on the bench the next game, and then it's tough. Like, can we? You know, you haven't got time to mess around. Like Man City need to get in the Champions League, and it's a hard one, isn't it? Like, I think.
Yeah, I think it's hard in general. It's definitely harder if you're at the top of the league or if you're at the bottom, because there's more riding on it, if that makes sense, in terms of the whole scenario. You want to make an impact for yourself, of course, but like what Crouch said there, Man City, like that Kusanov, oh my God. Yeah. That was terrible. Yeah. It was a harsh start. It really, really was. But Man City probably had the best.
Well, should we start with them, right? What did they spend? Was that 180 million? Is that correct?
Which seems mad, doesn't it?
Can I ask one question? How? Right? Yeah. I think it's one that's baffling a lot of people. How, and what, and why? Wow. I felt like, with regards to Newcastle, they sold Lloyd Kelly. It didn't feel like they wanted to sell him. But with the financial fair play, they kind of had to. Yeah. So what's the deal when you've got these charges hanging over you? Do you get to drop 180 mil?
I know. And also put Haaland on a 10-year contract extension.
Yeah,
that's down the line.
But isn't that the whole thing with that? You get then the yearly amount, which doesn't add up to as much. And I mean, look, do any of us understand it? I mean, isn't this part of the problem? Is, you know, Man City, I assume, have very good lawyers.
I believe it's all to do with like the balance sheet, isn't it? So someone like Man City, so for instance, from now until the end of the season, we know that they're probably going to be on Sky, live on Sky on a Sunday, X amount of time. So they're going to get money from the TV rights. They're going to be in the Champions League. So their 2 games, potentially more, will be X amount. So that's probably guaranteed income that they could counteract to what they spent, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get that. Obviously, they're earning a lot more because they're in the Champions League. They're winning the Champions League at later stages.
Sponsors outside
that, obviously. But, you know, the worry is, you know, things can be overinflated if you're sponsored by, you know, the people that own your football club. You know, that is the only issue.
Just moving between pots.
Yeah. But, you know, that's why it came in. And I'm sure there are rules in place. I just find it.
No, it's a huge amount of money. Do you take that sort of spending as a bit of a show of confidence for the manager? Do you think it's a doubling down with Pep? It's a good news for him.
Well, yeah. I mean, he signed a 2-year contract, didn't he? And you know, and if it's not as if I reckon he's earned some backing, to be fair, from what he's achieved at Manchester City. And if he said, right, I need these players, and then I think you go out and get them. But
because it is a proper money where your mouth is, I think, with owners, that, isn't it? I mean, just on a personal level here, we've got a real issue, it feels, amongst the fan base at Watford at the moment, where the owners come out and say, we're going to back Tom Cleverley, even though, you know, there was some suspicion around that anyway, given that they'd flown out another guy who potentially was going to be the manager, and, you know, the fans obviously weren't happy. But you come out and say these sort of things, but unless it is sort of shown through transfers and money that the owners are putting into the club quite publicly, it does feel that you're not really backing a manager if you don't show that you're trying to back them with players and signings and funds.
Yeah,
I think that's fair to say, isn't it?
Yeah, without doubt, I agree. But then, you know, Liverpool haven't signed anyone, have they? And I'm pretty sure they're backing him.
You'd assume so.
But you know, I get that one with Liverpool, for instance, is that I wouldn't want to upset that kind of, and maybe get someone in if it becomes glaringly obvious. You know, if there's maybe a midfielder or some strength in depth, you know, in various positions, maybe right back, you know, with Trent potentially moving. If something happens there, then great, but there's no real need to, is there?
And also they've got to be looking at, I mean, they must know, Liverpool must know now. You'd like to think there's been discussions where, and they're quite down the line by going, right, we're feeling as though X, Y, and Z, or X and Y are probably going to go. So we need to start looking at, well, they're not going to get anything for them, but who are we going to get in to replace? So instead of going out now, let's wait until they're gone do some more homework, get grounded, maybe win the Premier League. Maybe that's a bigger pull, maybe an insight to sign players. So Liverpool, I think, is a tough one.
What do we make of Chelsea? I think with Chelsea, also some of the outgoings.
Right, it's more out, wasn't it?
João Felix, Chukwuemeka.
Yeah,
I hope my pronunciation was good there. Disasi, Chilwell.
Chilwell's Palace, isn't he?
Ben Chilwell's gone to Palace, yeah.
On loan.
The Carney Chukwuemeka one, he's a very good player. He didn't really get a shot. I think he's going to be one for the future.
Dortmund's obviously gone to
watch.
Dortmund. Great place. Obviously, we've seen so many players flourish there, haven't we?
I've got a feeling he's going to have a massive Chumbawamba.
Really?
No, seriously, I do. No.
Is that a Chumbawamba to watch? A back stronger?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah. Chukwuemeka to make the Chumbawamba.
Chukwuemeka Chumbawamba.
We're having a Chukwuemeka Chumbawamba.
Yeah.
There's a song in there somewhere.
There is.
We've got to get him in to sing that, haven't we? Like, surely. It's made for him.
It is made for him.
Yeah.
Maybe we change it from, having a Chumbawamba to a Chukwuemeka.
There you go. Yeah.
Modern day Chumbawamba.
Yeah. Modern day one.
Well, it depends if he does it or not.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's keep our eye on him, you know what I mean?
But they're bags of potential.
Yeah, I love him.
Honestly,
I really
really good. And young, really young as well.
Needs a chance.
But they needed more out, didn't they, Chelsea? Then definitely more to come in.
I actually saw João Felix's Last Supper.
Sorry?
Yeah. I saw his Last Supper. I saw him, I was out for dinner just the day before he moved and saw him in the restaurant.
No way.
Yeah, it was his final hurrah.
Did you...
What did he have?
Yeah.
Where were you?
It's a nice Italian restaurant.
Nice.
Yeah, he was out with Pedro Neto and their families. Regards to all their families.
How does this? Why is it this happens so much with you guys? Why is it footballers seem to be in restaurants with other footballers? That doesn't really happen.
Well,
I think I know. I think I know the restaurant that you're talking about, which is not far from the. No, it's not far from the Cobham training ground, and it's one of the nicest ones around. Did you tip the hat?
Yes, I've said hello.
Nice.
Yep. I said regards to all their families. It was good, you know.
What did he have? Did you
actually see it? Like obviously, those boys they come in a little bit later. Right. I'm on my way out when they're walking in. Really, just a different culture. Yeah. You know what I mean? I want to fall out the door by 7:30.
Did you send a bottle of wine over? Do you send something over to the table or? No,
not really. No, because I wasn't sure when they were playing because it felt like should have been a game, but I forgot they played Monday night, didn't they?
Yeah,
mate. I've always wanted that to happen to me. It's a weird like sort of side fantasy I've got that I'm in a restaurant or a bar and someone from the other side sends something over. Waiter comes over and goes, "From the gentleman over there," and all you do is you look over and you just nod, and that's it. Just class. Never had that. Have you?
What about in the summer?
What do you have?
No, it wasn't a wine. I was in a bar in Spain, and a restaurant in Spain, and someone sent over a big pint of beer, and with a napkin, and it said it was either Puddings is massive, or it was relation to the pod.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was a massive fan of the pod. Yeah. I'm sure we mentioned it. We did, yeah. But yeah, it wasn't a bottle of wine. But
I'd love that.
Mm.
Okay, so
did you just quickly on that? Have you ever sent one over to like a group of ladies when you were younger or not?
No, I wouldn't have the bottle to do that.
I think there's not much bottle in that. I think as long as you financially you're able to do that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
the bottle is taking over there yourself.
That's what I mean. I think sending it is actually, if they turn around and go fuck off, you go off. Thank God I didn't embarrass myself. Whereas if they go like, oh, lovely, I'll come and join you, you haven't really done a lot.
Hold on. So let's stop here for a second because I'm trying to work out if I'm sort of regretting that I didn't do this when I was younger. Are you saying, because if I sent a bottle of, so there's a table of lovely ladies, right? So I send, say, 4 VKs over, something like that. Barman wanders over, right? And they go from the gentleman, let's just play out. Yeah. So from the gentleman over there.
Face on and you do this.
I just give him a
little wink.
Now, are you saying maybe 9 times out of 10? So 1 time out of 10, they're just going to be, fuck off. Then VKs come back. But 9 times out of 10, they'll then usher you over.
Well, I just think there's more, you've kind of broken the ice. And then next time on the way to the toilet, they go, right, girls, and then they're like, oh, he's a nice guy, he bought us a drink before.
So clever.
Then you're in, you've ice broken.
Yeah, because my worry would be I send the 4 VKs over to the lovely ladies on the table. They turn around, acknowledge. I give them the old,
They just turn their backs.
And then I say nothing to them for the rest of the time that we're in there and leave.
I think it needs to be a follow-up.
Yeah,
it needs to follow up.
Yeah. But like as Sid says, I mean, it takes bottle to take the drink over, I think.
Yeah, I could never approach girls.
Really?
Never.
No game.
I don't know how the transfer window's gone to this discussion, but I'm enjoying it anyway.
But just on this brief tangent, like footballers are better at this sort of thing. I think.
It's tough.
Yeah.
You know, as a youngster, isn't it? It's
some
tough.
people just play the numbers game off. They got to lose, but some people are like, it's disheartening. They don't want to have the embarrassment. Some people don't care.
Did you feel pressure when you were younger to try and get the fact that you're a footballer into the conversation as quickly as possible?
I mean, I didn't really do it. I've been with my now wife. I've been with her since we was 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, son. Yeah, you know, it's if you don't shoot, you don't score. You know what I mean? You got to pull the trigger at some stage.
And if that means dropping it on the footballer as early as possible, then you can't do it.
You know what I mean? Like, of course, you know, there's some lads with a massive XG, with a fantastic XG. You know, they shoot, they score.
Yeah,
you know, but for a player like me, 1 in 3, man, got to fire some shots off. You know what I mean? Aston Villa, good window.
Yeah. Oh wow!
What do you think? They lost John Duran, didn't they? You know, that was a lot of money.
John Duran, I don't begrudge him going. I really don't. I don't. It's
shame though, isn't it?
It's a shame.
It's a shame.
It is a shame. But like I said before, football is a short career, and you don't in terms of from start to finish, even from 1 week to the next. You don't know what's going to happen. Listen, I'd love for him to have stayed, but he's gone, and they got good money for him as well.
Yeah.
They got good money for him.
They did. It's a shame just from a fan's point of view. I think, you know, to see him kind of blossom into the player it was happening, wasn't it? And he would have been I'd like to have seen him benefit from that and us benefit from him in the Premier League. Yeah. But you can't have a go at him. Like, you know, no one knows. We don't know his situation, his family situation. We don't know who he wants to look after, you know, or whether he wants to keep it all himself. But you know, you can't look at someone's situation and have a go at him for it. And, you know, he's getting paid ridiculous money.
Yeah.
But what I found was with Arsenal, for instance, bidding for Ollie Watkins, it felt just a bit naive. There's no way Aston Villa are going to let 2 of them go in that window.
No.
Do you think?
Was Rashford done before the Watkins one was? It was in and around, wasn't it? It wasn't confirmed. So yeah, because I think that was the confusion. Yeah. If they would have let Watkins go, who I believe is a big Arsenal fan as well, and I'm sure that that transfer will come back.
Yeah. There's no way that's happening. There's no way that's happening in this window.
No.
Villa are in Champions League as well, by the way. So why they would let him go, you know, and also Rashford's not now. Obviously, it's like, let Watkins and Duran go, and Rashford comes in. Yeah. There's no guarantee that he's going to hit the ground running. No, you know, absolutely, he's got the talent, obviously, but it hasn't happened for a while now. Yeah,
we're talking a good 18 months, isn't it? You're hoping that he falls in love with football again. I think Rashford.
Well, it's got to be a new Rashford, hasn't it?
Has to be.
But maybe that's what a new club brings.
Yeah, the new bounce.
The new bounce, yeah. And also, I just think for too long now, there's been those sort of questions of Rashford at United, and almost it doesn't matter what he does, he can't shake that reputation. I think even if he had a run of good games, I'm not totally sure there still wouldn't be this sort of question mark around him. Just in terms of United, you know?
Yeah.
Feels like a bit too deep there. So good to switch it up.
Yeah, it does.
In terms of Watkins, though, is that kind of the ideal situation that you have clubs sort of pecking around for you? You don't move and then think of the summer.
Well, yeah, but you've got to follow it up. I mean, you've still got to perform. It's a great confidence booster. He's knowing now that they've come in, they've had a bite of the cherry, and then it's like that take away what Aston Villa might do this season. They could win the Champions League, we don't know. But in terms of a personal preference of where you'd want to go. Brilliant.
Yeah, and also I think there's certain narratives around clubs that probably are unfair given how mixed up this season has been. You know, you got to give enough respect to Villa this season.
That's what I think there's probably been a lack of, really. Like, you know, it's all that Arsenal coming in for Watkins, and as if like Villa's a small club. You know what I mean?
Who have got
they're in the Champions League. They've got their building. They've got a fantastic manager.
Really wealthy.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Like, there's no need for them to do it, and they've built something incredible there. And like, why on earth would they want to lose that? And we don't know Watkins' frame of mind, but yeah, I think it was just a bit cheeky. Felt like when they bid for Suarez for like, what was it, £50.1 or something. You know that Suarez bid?
Oh right, yeah.
And it was like they were trying to trigger it.
But then on the flip side, as an Arsenal fan, you've got to be delighted that they've explored rather than look, if you're going to go on to Arsenal, they didn't get no one in, did they? But everyone's been screaming out to get a striker.
Yeah, no, I know, but like, you know, then they go and beat City 5-1. You know what I mean? So Havertz scores, you know, the young lads scoring. It was.
Do you think they've missed the trick not getting a striker in?
Yeah, I think
for now, at the end of the season. Yeah, I
do, but you know, it's no secret. I'm pretty sure they were trying to do it.
Fan nodding in the.
What are your thoughts, Jamie?
A bagsman.
Bagsman. He would have loved the bagsman.
How many bagsmen are there though? and what, you know,
are we talking on or off the field?
Oh, dude, that's a great term, that, isn't it?
Bagsman.
A bagsman. Manchester United. Not much action. I thought Amorim would have had stuff lined up. Obviously got Dorgu in.
Yeah.
But Anthony left and Rashford, I think they were important.
Yeah.
To leave the club.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe they back him in the summer, but it's not looking good for them, is it?
I don't know. There seems to be a lot going on always at Old Trafford at the minute, even the way he is now. I mean, I thought when he came in, I thought there was going to be a real boost, a big lift, but they seem to have gone backwards, if anything, United for me. And I think he's actually looking at it going, this is a bigger job than what I thought. Even some of the stuff that he's been saying in press conferences, post-match games, I'm like, oh. But don't
you feel this is just the constant conversation with United, though?
I know, yeah. But
so basically, is there any manager that can make this work?
I think it's a long-term project.
Is there any?
Doesn't appear.
Well, he's not a bad manager, is he? He seems he's respectful. He seems like he can get the best out of.
He's tried to deal with the press and the pressure around that. I thought the right way, but then seems to rub people up. I just don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
That's what Man United is, though, isn't it? It's one of the biggest brands out there. It's global.
No,
it's huge. Any decision they make is huge.
The issue is they haven't bought well for ages, have they? Yes. The last few windows have been disastrous, really. And until that is rectified, they're going to have a poor squad. And a poor squad with players who are on really inflated wages for their ability and what they're delivering, who aren't going to move anywhere. So until you get rid of that and, you know, get players in that are hungry, that want to work and in the correct manner, then you're always going to have this problem. It doesn't matter, no matter who's in charge. Do you know what I mean? There's a rebuild needed for whatever reason. You know what I find interesting is Liverpool and Nottingham Forest, to be honest, is the lack of getting people in. I totally get it. I mean, I was at Forest on the weekend, and that was amazing, really. And I'll be honest, they have been pretty active in other windows. Yeah, to be fair. So
I wonder if that was a scenario where their hands are tied in terms of all this financial stuff when they couldn't really get one, or it was a bit of both where they thought we don't really. I'm not sure about not getting someone to upset the dressing room. I get it because the environment, the culture is great. Good, but if you could just get that one that come through a door in January, it does give you a lift, especially the way they are as well.
That's what I was sort of intrigued by what they were going to do because, you know, at the beginning of the season, you never would have called what's going on. Or very few people, I think, did. So the type of player that they actually could attract to that club is potentially so different to what they probably planned that they would be able to get in at this point. So it was a kind of unique situation to see, are they going to almost, what value do they give themselves? Are they going to try and get someone that really they probably wouldn't have got on predictions 12 months ago, 6 months ago? And ended up not really being anything. But fair enough.
As well, on the positive side, they've been slated the last couple of years, haven't they, about going crazy in the window, and look at them now. It's coming.
I just would have loved to have seen.
intention.
Do you know what I would have loved to have seen? Just like a massive name go there, but almost just because Forest are flying, then they can sort of. But it would be like a Crouchy. It would be like, do you know what I mean? It would be a big name, but just for the sake of jumping in Forest's glory, kind of thing. Balotelli, something.
Robinho. Then when he went to City, was that January?
Oh, no, that was
it Berbatov?
No, that was Berber went.
Yeah,
Berber went during the season.
I remember watching that.
To United. Yeah, Robinho was definitely pre-season.
Right, just on the state of the league now. Right, it's all taking shape. Top 5 is looking like it might be Champions League places.
I believe so.
Yeah,
yes.
well, I mean, if that's the case,
which is great for us.
what would
English
your
teams.
top 5 be?
Ooh. Well, I think Liverpool are going to win the league.
Okay.
Are we going to do this as a joint or?
Yeah, let's come up with it together. Otherwise, we're in weird competition mode, aren't we?
So,
can't deal with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Weekends have been ruined at the moment on this bloody Friday thing. Got the text message through from Ross, producing the pod. Actually sent it to me as a text. You're right, mate. Are you free for 10 minutes for a quick call? RE forfeits.
So you're getting like...
just to clarify, I didn't get that text. Did you get that text? I don't know what that means.
It's like, do you know what? You do have to plan though, you know what I mean? If behind the scenes, there's plenty of people that plan, before a cup final's happened.
Yeah, he wants to know red lines.
Yeah.
Which is a mental conversation to be happening. Father of 2, Yeah, it's just like, mate, it's got to be careful about losing my job. He's like, oh, so what won't you do? It's like, well, what do I list here? Like, I don't want anything inside me.
I don't want anything inside me.
Like
how many clothes are you willing to go down to?
It's basically that, isn't it? It was nice about it, but it was...
Yeah, fair enough. Heights, is there a certain height you won't go to? Is there a certain depth?
It was basically that. Mental. What a conversation.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll get to that. State of the league.
Liverpool. Top 5s.
What?
Liverpool. Let's say Liverpool and Arsenal.
Arsenal, I think.
Are we not going to do this in order? Are we going to do this in order?
Liverpool win it. Second,
okay, Arsenal. Well, Forest are 3rd at the moment. I don't think they'll finish.
I think
3rd.
Chelsea will finish above them.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see someone finishing above them. Whether that's going to be Chelsea or Man City, I think one of them would finish above. Let's go with Chelsea if you want.
Obviously, I don't think Forest are going to win the league, right? But I just think they've got this. They do have this Leicester sort of momentum at the moment.
I agree. I would personally put them in 4th.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that.
I think they're going to. Now they're going to be. You got to take them serious now, especially at the end of January. That they're still in there, and
I've seen them enough times now. Genuinely, I think they're serious. These are serious contenders.
Yeah.
I think they'll stay in there now.
So let's just say Chelsea 3rd. Let's say Forest 4th.
Yeah.
That's 1 spot left.
Yeah.
So then you got the likes of Man City,
Newcastle, Aston Villa,
Bournemouth up there.
Bournemouth.
Newcastle. Did we say Newcastle? Newcastle. Yeah.
I would personally, for 5th? I would put City in 5th, personally.
You can't say City can't get Champions League out of all the other teams remaining.
Yeah. It's so hard, isn't it? Because there's that, it's kind of like they should be. And I don't just mean like from the start of the season to now. Yeah. With the team they currently have, that is available and fit. And when they're firing, they should be in that place. But the problem is, every time we've said this about City this season so far, they should do, but they don't.
Yeah. And then they've got Newcastle and Villa chasing them, and Bournemouth. But
good, and Bournemouth. But Bournemouth have been brilliant.
I don't think they'll sustain it, but I'm just saying, you got especially Newcastle and Villa who are doing really well. Are we sticking with City?
I would personally, but
I think it's a safe bet.
Well, it's hard not to, isn't it?
Okay. All right, there's our top 5. Perfect.
Right, okay. Should we move on? Hello, guys. Regards to your families. Regular list of the pod. Never missed an episode. Liverpool fan here from down south. Follow them home and away. Today's episode and the talk with regards to travelling to and from European games were reminded me of when Liverpool played in Villarreal in May 2022.
Okay.
Myself and a few friends were travelling to the game. We were in the Wetherspoons at Gatwick Airport having some pre-fight beers. One of our group returned from the toilet and said that Peter Crouch and Rio Ferdinand were in the booth 2 down from where we were sitting. Being Liverpool fans, we really wanted a picture of Crouchy but didn't want Rio in it. Given his ties with Man United. So for the next 10 minutes, we tactically discussed how we could ask for a photo, but to find a way for Rio not to be in it. We thought about asking Rio to take the photo so he wasn't in it, but thought that might be taking the piss. Anyway, in short, we bottled it and were then called to the gates and thought we had missed our opportunity. When we queued to get on the plane, Crouchy and Rio ended up being behind us in the queue, so we eventually got a photo with all of us, including Rio. I'm fairly confident that Crouchy will never remember this, so the photo is attached.
Wicked.
We shared the photo with our wider group of Liverpool fans on WhatsApp and got absolute dogs abuse that we had our photo taken with the ex-Manchester United player.
Yeah.
Okay, but first of all, do you remember this?
I do actually, yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I do. I really do.
I take it this for a European game. You're flying out.
I remember, and we were sitting in a little like quiet bit of the Wetherspoons.
That Wetherspoons in Gatwick.
Yeah.
Just iconic. Is that the one? I think it might be called the Red Lion,
Upstairs,
I'm tempted to say. But
upstairs.
It's just
Top of the
perfect.
escalators.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Makes me very proud that you were both in there, actually.
Yeah.
Wouldn't expect that.
Yeah, we were in there, yeah.
But, you know, if we get hold of this picture, what we might be able to do to help you out, Matt, is bang it up on social. And then people are really good at just sort of, you know, editing stuff in or out, depending.
I think they could have probably been honest enough to go, look, we're massive Liverpool fans, Rio. Do you mind if we have one with Crouchy because United?
Do you know that would have been, to be honest, he would have taken that. So
as a compliment, really.
Yeah, you know, and I think the other way around, if someone says to me, like, big United fans, we don't want you anywhere near it, to me, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
That, yeah.
Right, so here's the picture now. Yeah, as you can see, I don't know, like COVID time or something, but I've got
masks
we
on.
got hats on and masks, so that's probably why we got away with being in Wetherspoons. It's only when I stood up. Well, we didn't get away with it because we were having a picture.
Do you know what? I actually think there's a way. You're right, Chris. There's a way of photoshopping Rio out of there.
Yeah,
you can bring the two. You can bring you can crop him out and put the two together.
It's great. We should ask permission because this is the kind of stuff that I see quite a lot where it's like someone just puts a request out to the internet. So it's like, love this picture. Sadly, there's a Man United legend in there. You know, what can you do?
Yeah.
And then people will do all sorts. They'll superimpose, you know, another
they'll
Liverpool
be
player
able
on
to
there.
do it, yeah. They didn't mention that Declan Rice and Joe Cole were in it as well.
How good is that?
Get on Declan Rice as well.
Hey, brilliant.
All right, post the picture on the socials, Ross, because you can have a look at Declan and Joe in there as well. And I'm sure someone can Photoshop it.
Okay. He's also done 11, is that right?
Yeah, he has. He's done an 11. It made him think of a airport or flight 11, which is below. Petr Cech in goal.
Yeah.
Custom Edinburgh.
Oh, yes.
Fantastic. Graham Lesearch.
Oh, yeah.
Virgin van Dijk. Of course, we've got Johan de Cockpit. Steve Speedwell.
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic. Vinny Runways.
Vinny Soundways.
Graham Stewardess.
Yeah.
Obviously, Graham Stewart. John Cabin Carew.
That's the best one.
Yes,
That's the best
fantastic. Flight York.
Yeah.
Yes, and Landing Donovan.
Very
Well
good,
done, Matt. Fantastic. Well, hopefully we'll help you out with the photo. And regards to your families. And lads, I'll see you next time.
Yes. Regards to your families, everyone.